watching live. Happy Friday. I'm in a different room today. Some of you might notice we're still in the clinic, but I've just I've jumped into someone else's room. My room's being used by someone else. Anyway, we do that for anyone that knows us in our practice. We all move around and have musical couches, so to speak. So anyway, without further ado, I'm just going to get on with kind of today's chat. And I'm already feeling the positive vibes today about this one because I really need it, I think, myself after this week. Today has ended up bring your child to work day for me because they're sick. So as working mums, we all know about that. And so, yeah, I'm just feeling like the sun's out. It's Friday. I'm hoping it's going to be a nice weekend to get some laundry out. And I'm thinking that our topic for today is going to be great because our topic is going to be kind of spring cleaning. This is the first week of, one of the first weeks of spring. And we're going to talk everything home organisation, spring cleaning for busy working mums and dads, busy working parents. So today we are talking with Leena Terry, and Leena owns, she's a local mum to our practice and owns a business called Bliss Organisation. So I am going to bring Leena in right now. Hello. Welcome with Claire.
Thanks, Claire. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Okay, before we jump in, because I'm just, I'm one of those people, and I think there's a lot of us who love reading about this topic, like looking at beautiful Instagram feeds on this topic of like the pantries and the organisation hacks and the tips, and then never really feeling like we actually accomplish that or get there. But it doesn't kind of dampen our kind of enthusiasm for it. And I don't know whether that's just, anyway, we just love that aspiration that we're going to have this home that's, perpetually beautiful like that. So before we really get into it, can you tell everyone kind of, where you are, where you're based, who you are, and what you kind of do for a living?
Yeah, so I'm in the Sutherland Shire area, but I service pretty much all of Sydney and the Illawarra area. So I do go far and wide. And I started we're nearly 4 years old now, and I kind of started it. I was a working mum. Obviously, I've got two boys, and I just wanted something that's like I was fitting around me and my kids. And my friends kept saying, "Why don't you do this for a living?" And I thought I'd give it a go, and have not looked back since. So absolutely loving it.
And so, how old are your boys now?
So my eldest is just about to turn 12. So we're in the process of changing over to high school next year, which is a bit scary and exciting at the same time. And my youngest has just turned 10. So they're a bit older now. It does get easier as they get older, I have to say. And I think we'll hit easier, and that may change. So I'll keep you posted on that.
Okay, beautiful. Excellent. All right. So let's get into it. I mean, when we're talking about getting organised, I think that that's so much to do with, the head as well as kind of the physical space, right? Or one kind of goes with the other. It's like,
absolutely.
A lot. So what are some of the things that your clients would come to you with, tearing their hair out saying, can you help me with this? Or, why haven't they done this, I suppose, to themselves? Like, what are their barriers to getting organised?
I think we're all so time poor. And I think when your house is in disarray, or what you think is in disarray, your mind's in disarray. And starting somewhere, that point of starting is just too overwhelming to actually come by. Because I'm not going to lie, in the decluttering process, it is really overwhelming. You have a lot of stuff. So it gets much, much worse before it gets better. But the method that I use is very similar to the KonMari method, which is actually going through each and every item, because we don't want to hold on to things that aren't serving us a purpose or are just wasted away. So we want to bring the energy back and get rid of things that are stagnant. So that's a process of getting rid of things that don't serve us a purpose, which means going through every nook and cranny. And that's very hard to kind of get your head around during the process.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's amazing how much, I mean, I know this is kind of a cliche, everyone says it, but like how much stuff you get, right? Like accumulate. And I feel like if you move to a bigger space, you'll just fill the space. And people will be like, oh my gosh, this is so much storage. This is great. But at the same time, if you've coped with like less storage, do you really need to fill more storage?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah, exactly right.
And totally be guilty of that. Like if I had a massive house, it would still be full.
Yeah. I'm just like, no, don't do that. No, but it's I mean, the thing is too, like incidents in wardrobes, like we're all guilty of like buying something because it's cheap, even if we don't think that it looks good on us or it doesn't suit us, or something that we don't want. And to be honest, we use 20%.
It's like it's so cheap.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, 20% of our wardrobe is what we use. So that's like a whopping 80% that's sitting there doing absolutely nothing and creating a headache because we can't choose what to wear even though we've got all these clothes. So it's a real brain turnaround to kind of look at things in a flip-flop way and just say, do we really need it? Like I really encourage clients like after the process to do list shopping. So especially during sales and, you know, going Black Friday sales, everything's online now. It's so easy to click, but click and then just let it sit for 5 minutes and then come back to it, or have a list that you actually want to buy, what you actually need, not want, what you need to buy, and kind of try and stick to that, because it's really hard not to go, yeah, that's going to look great when I'm a size yada yada, or you know, baby stage, like I'll buy this for when like I have the baby. But the truth is you deserve something that's current in fashion after you have the baby. So it's not worth it. Yeah.
The wardrobe is massive for me. That's absolutely, and yeah, I'm just, I like you pull each individual piece out. Like I do that, try and go through each individual piece. And I think it's like, well, I still like that. I mean, I haven't worn it in 2 years. I don't know why, but clearly I'm not going for it and wearing it. But like I look at it, it fits me, it's good quality, I really like it. And so then I put it back because I go, oh, well, I might. Like it's and do you get?
But if you haven't,
I haven't.
Yeah.
Haven't.
Yeah.
And I don't think also someone said this to me once, you know, you go through cleanups where you throw, you know, garbage bags full of, you know, stuff where you donate. And I love that. Like I'm not a hoarder at all. Like I love the feeling of just getting rid of it.
Yeah, releasing it, yeah.
Yeah. And not once have I ever looked for that item or remembered what I've thrown out. Not once have I actually gone, damn it, I wish I hadn't thrown that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think that's the big thing, is that we all have guilt around stuff that we've purchased. And I know a lot of clients will look at things and go, I paid a lot of money for that, but I haven't worn it. But then there's like, you know, the flip side to that is that when you look at it, it makes you feel guilty because you're not wearing it. So either sell it or give it to someone who will love and cherish it. And I think that's the thing we kind of need to think about is, you know, if it's not serving a purpose, then it's causing stagnant energy within our homes. And, you know, we all deserve a home that we feel safe and invited into. So, yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, these are the conversations you would have with people, like, you know, in the moment, holding the item, of like trying to get them through that process. And is there resistance sometimes?
Absolutely. And I think when you're in organising, when you have someone with you, I'm very fast paced because we kind of want to keep the momentum flowing. So if it's a decision that they can't kind of go straight away, yes or no, then we pop it to the side and we'll come back to it. And more often than that, that item by the end of the session will end up being donated or sold.
Will go. Yeah.
Because if you procrastinate on it, yeah, exactly. If you're procrastinating on the item in the first place, usually there's a doubt that you're going to be wearing it or using it. So, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So for parents and adults, but, you know, most people watching this will be parents. And most of the people, you know, watching this will be full-time working parents, you know, either single or, you know, in a dual income family, but, you know, but working parents, you know, what beyond just the house looking nice, you're not a psychologist, I know, but can you, give your observations on what you think the impact is? I mean, what's the ripple effect of having a house where everything has a place and, bench tops are clear and there's not that clutter around you? What do you see as the ripple effect of that?
Oh, it's just even going through a small part of the house, you can actually see the person lighter. Like, it's ridiculous, like when you come into a home and you see the person, and then by the end of the session, they literally are lighter. I don't know how to explain it, but they are lighter. They're bubblier. You can see their shoulders have dropped. They're happier. So I would say 95% of my clients are parents, and usually both parents are working. So it is actually a huge thing, and you don't have time to do this. And I think there are so many benefits from it. First of all, you save money because you can actually find what you need instead of rebuying it. That's one of the big benefits. The second is that
I've literally like in my wardrobe kind of been able to like shop in my wardrobe. I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like I've got a dress, like I've discovered it.
Yeah, really you're not the only one. You're not alone there, Claire.
Yeah.
So that would be like one of the big things, is like the money side of it. And the other flip side is that, because we are busy, when we have the weekends or we have time with our kids, we don't want to be spending it yelling for them to clean up things, or us like, cleaning and putting things away. So the whole idea of having a home for each thing is that the tidy process is literally like 10 minutes to half an hour, depending on how deep a clean you do. So everything has a pace. Everyone knows if it's not put away straight away, then it's not like you're trying to stuff it into a cupboard where you don't know where it is. It's literally, I know where that goes. It goes in. It's 2 seconds. It's done. Yeah. So it's just giving you that time back rather than being a slave to your home. It's the opposite way. Like, you can go and relax and be with your friends and your family and not feel guilty about what you've got to do at home. And I think the interesting thing that, sorry.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, one of the interesting things that you said is like, we're also absorbed with Pinterest and Instagram and Facebook, where we're seeing these beautiful places. But the reality is, I left my place today and there's dirty dishes in the sink. And that doesn't worry me, even though I'm going to go and do someone else's house. We are not magazine every day. We are if a home is that perfect, then it's not a happy home, because you're not living in it and using it the way that it was intended. So don't feel bad about having dirty dishes or a bed that's unmade.
There's a balance. And telling, I mean, it's almost like the form of Instagram kind of shaming that you talk to teenage girls about bodies. For the middle-aged mother, it's the pictures of someone else's body.
And I think that's it.
So reminding parents that that's a curated image. It's been, things have been curated and it's been posed, and so you're not seeing behind the camera what's behind in reality. You're seeing something that has been created for Instagram. Exactly.
And no home wakes up feel like that unless you're picking up every single item every second. And that's not a life that you want to live. Like, you want to be out enjoying the world, not stuck to the home. So having mess is okay. It's making sure you've got the systems where it can be dealt with without being overwhelmed by it.
Okay. So most of the parents who work with me know that I love a book called Simplicity Parenting, and in that book, it's a book by Australian psychologist Kim John Payne, and he talks about simplifying children's lives. Now, anyway, there is a whole chapter in that book about simplifying stuff, physical stuff in children's bedrooms specifically. And his theories as a psychologist, which I find very interesting, are about kind of fussy, intense, and anxious children who are kind of highly strung. And he says that he can almost predict what their bedroom is going to be like, because they'll be like stuffed full of like the drawers overflowing, covered in like so many toys that they don't know what to play with, so they play with none of them, and they're after the next hit, like they're after the hit of the next plastic toy that makes a noise. And so anyway, he has all these great theories, and actually it's like quite impactful on their mental health. And so I'm really interested in that area about kind of some people call it kind of minimizing, but it's not even minimizing actually. It's just getting back to kind of normal about the amount of toys kids have. So I'm just interested in your thoughts, like, do you tackle kids' toys? Do you involve kids? And what happens when kids won't let go and all that stuff?
I think so this is actually a very interesting topic, because it's one in the organising world where some POs will say, which is personal organisers, sorry.
Oh wow! You have a PO. Wow, that's quite cool.
Yeah, we're POs. So some POs believe yes, you should involve your kids, and some of us are like, I think at a certain age, yes, involve your kids.
Yeah.
It's always really good from a very, very young age to encourage kids to donate and to have that explanation of giving, because it helps them sort of break away. Because if there's kids are like naturally very, very empathetic, I guess. So if they know that some little child doesn't have a toy like this and would love to play with it, and you've got, 2 of them or 3 of them, like, wouldn't it feel great for that little child to have one of your toys? And more often than not, the child will say yes, like, give it away. They're very happy to do that. So I think that is definitely the conversation around that, especially around birthdays and Christmas, are really good, because they know they're going to get more stuff. Yeah. So you can kind of introduce it young with that kind of intention. But in saying that, also, I do believe that kids get way too much stuff. Yeah. So I think it's up to like the parents to go through and kind of decipher what they play with, because not every boy wants to play with trucks. They might want to play with dolls. So having a whole heap of trucks that they're just really not interested in, there's no point in that. So halve it, give half away, and maybe you could store half of it. So I'm a big believer in rotating toys around as well. So always keep favorites out, but if they've got a lot of stuff, it's sort of like, every 6 to 3 months, depending on the age of their kids, you can actually take a box of toys and rotate it out for another one. So you don't have everything out on display or have to be picking everything up. And they think that they're getting new toys all the time, and it's not.
That novelty factor, like, they seem new again, don't they?
Absolutely.
But it's that classic story of like, you're taking the toy out that your kid hasn't looked at in like 12 months, and they're like, I love this toy. I always play with this toy. So sometimes I do the whole, like, when they're not in the house, I will declutter without them. But my kids are like 5 and 4. So and they will never like, and I won't, obviously I'm not taking stuff that they love and they actually play with. I mean, I'm looking at kind of the McDonald's toy that, like, hello, like, this is sat here for 6 months, you don't need this. And they've never asked about it. They've never gone, where's that McDonald's toy that was there? Like, they wouldn't have a clue. So it's gone.
Exactly. No, and I think, in my opinion, having kids, then that's totally fine. My 12-year-old literally has just got rid of all his little bits and bobs. So he has come to the point that he wants his room to be tranquil and somewhere for him to relax. He doesn't want to have all those little bits anymore. So even though he offloaded them to his younger brother, who is the one who can't part with stuff, he has on his own accord now. He's that bit older that he is like, okay, get rid of it. I don't play with it. I don't need it. But I think part of that is the conversation, that knowing that there's children out there who would love to have what you have, and kind of playing on that empathy that they naturally have to donate, and it's okay to do that sort of thing. So in a way, definitely incorporate and include them in that. But then, like you said, like, you pick up that McDonald's because they're going to go, I want to play with that. Like, know that they're not going to play with it. So using your intuition as well is a big help with the toys.
I try not even let them come through the house. Like, they play with them in the back of the car, drive through, and then I'm like, gone. Doesn't even come in.
Landfill. I know.
Terrible, I know. Okay, just a couple of quick things. So what is the most requested room, or is it like it's really variable? Like do people come with you with the most requested room, wardrobe, pantry? What is it?
Right on, wardrobe and pantry.
Okay.
I think we mostly start wardrobes. I'd probably say the number one would be wardrobes and then pantry.
Okay. Men as well as women, or is this a woman issue?
Not at all, no. I would say I work with more women, but usually it's doing both the partner, like their partners as well. So, and I will say that like men do spend just as much on clothes as what women do, and have just as much. Yeah, so both.
Oh, cool. Yeah. And okay, so this weekend, have you got some kind of, I don't know, top tips, or, you know, if someone wanted to say, right, I've got, you know, Sunday afternoon, I'm gonna make a start. You know, do they have to get everything out of the pantry onto the floor? Do they have to, like, what would be some top tips of starting themselves this weekend?
So I think a great idea is to give themselves one thing at a time. So if you're doing a pantry, do one shelf, go through. Okay. And as you're doing that, start categorizing. Pantries, I think people get a bit stuck with the categorizing, but you kind of want to do like your dinner mixes, your baking, fruit and nuts, that kind of thing, snacks. So you can categorize them out, but just do one shelf first, and then kind of go to the next one. Is probably the easiest way to kind of do it. And the same with any area, or like if you're doing the kitchen, maybe start first of all with drawers rather than the pantry itself.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, that's cool. And you don't have to have, though it looks pretty, but to get started, I mean, I think people make excuses, you know, it's that whole kind of, it's completely in their head, procrastination of like, oh, well, I can't get started because I don't have all matching containers, or I don't have the labels yet, or I don't have the, you know, but you could chuck out all the like food that's out of date. That would be a good start. Like,
absolutely.
You can start, right? Like it doesn't have to be perfect to start.
I don't encourage clients to buy unless I'm buying for them, because I know exactly what we need. And more often than not, once you start decluttering, you actually have stuff that you can use anyway. You just didn't know. So buying stuff to organize actually hinders the process because you've got more stuff to deal with. So organize, pop it into your categories, see how it's going to look in the space. And then you can do the fun stuff and Pinterest what you really love, or go on to Kmart or Howard Storage World and start finding containers that you have. But use what you have first, because all that pretty stuff comes at the very, very end.
Oh, I really love that, because that makes total sense, because I've without opening the pantry, I've stood in front of Kmart aisles and then just looked at like massive amount and then just started grabbing stuff, and then I have no idea actually what I need. I'm just grabbing containers.
That's exactly right. Catch grab. Yeah.
Other way around. Other way around.
Absolutely. Every time. The only thing I would suggest to buy if you are doing like your wardrobe is I recommend getting the felt hangers, either the felt or the plastic hangers. If you have like mixed match hangers, it actually creates more feel in the wardrobe. So, and it's harder to get out. If they're all the same, it actually is easier to get your items out of your wardrobe. And for goodness sakes, please, anyone who has the little wire hangers from dry cleaning, take them back to your dry cleaner, because they're horrendous for your clothes and your sanity.
Okay. Yeah. The felt ones, I think, well, a long time ago, I thought, okay, I'm going to make my wardrobe look beautiful. And I bought all the wooden hangers, and they just take up so much room. They're so chunky. So I've gone to felt. I'm onto the felt. The felt used to be quite expensive, but now Kmart does them like everything else. So Kmart, they do the big boxes of felt hangers. Yeah. So
I think it's $30 for $10. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that other, just coming back to that other tip about like you can just do one area at a time, is really good because I think we do a bit of the pantry and then we do a bit of the linen cupboard and then we like go to the wardrobe and then that needs washing and then we need to, and then we're onto the laundry cupboard. And then,
Yeah.
So you end up just kind of around the house without really accomplishing one space.
Yeah. And that's where you end up with Groundhog Day. You're just chasing your tail around the house, basically. So always, even if you're doing one little drawer at a time, stick within that area until it's done. But that's one of the big things that get people unstuck when they want to do it, because they just become totally overwhelmed because they are trying to micromanage every little area. So that's a big no-no. Yeah, just stick to one area.
But that is why, having someone like yourself as a professional would help, because then you can say, no, like you can provide the structure around that and then help us kind of just stick with that one area.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I say to people too is the kind of, like when I'm there, you're paying for my time. So of course you're going to do it. So it's almost like scheduling it in as a work day. So if you schedule it in and try to make sure that nothing is booked in for that time, then I find that people have got a lot more success. And even writing down, like I'm a big believer in your action plans, so decluttering action plans. Go through each single drawer and say, okay, well, this is the drawer we're doing these 5 today. Tomorrow we're doing these 5, and tick it. There's something about a tick. You probably will know more about this, how satisfying and gratifying it is that you can look at a page and have all these little ticks that you've done. It's accomplished, and it's, you can kind of start to get really proud of yourself and carry on doing more and more.
There is a certain psychologist in this clinic, not me, who writes at the top of her to-do list, write to-do list, tick, just so she can
tick it. That's what I'm like. I very well.
But it's about those little steps that make you feel accomplished. That make you feel. It just sounds so minor. Like we all know, I sound very kind of like my mother now, but like make your bed in the morning, and like it just makes you feel like you've got things in order.
Exactly, and that you're not going to forget anything too. I think that's the big thing. Is like, because we are really busy, if you've got it written down and you tick it, it's accomplished and I haven't forgotten.
Yeah. Cool. Excellent. All right. And also, sorry, just last, in terms of your services, I don't think that, they are kind of increasing in popularity of having the help. And I think that that's, you keep us on track, you provide us that structure. It's actually just more fun to do it probably with someone else, like make it fun. Yeah. But also, like, I think women in particular have to cut us some slack of saying, well, previous generations didn't do as much maybe as we do. And so, my mother could do this without, like, why do I need a home organisation expert? Well, because maybe they ran a household and were at home, and that was their job. It is a full-time job. They were running a household. So I just want to put that message. They're like, delegate, and if you can get someone in like yourself for a couple of hours to help you do it, that's not a reflection on you. It's actually probably a reflection just of our lifestyles and the fact that we need to ask for that help.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, the saying that like it takes a village to raise a child, and we don't have that anymore. We seriously kind of need to go back to that mentality, because I know with my mum, grandparents lived around and they were there to help and, help with housework if they needed, or look after the kids. Like myself, I have no family around because we've moved away. So, I definitely think that both parents need to give themselves a bit more of a pat on the back for what they can accomplish, and not think, what we should be doing, because there is no such thing as should. It's only what you've got in the moment and what you're capable of. And if that means that things have to stay where they are for the minute and spend time with your loved ones, then you should do that, definitely.
Beautiful. Okay, so if people want to check you out, and even, is it okay if they contact you if they've got other questions, or
absolutely.
Absolutely. Are you on socials? Where they go?
I'm everywhere. So So Facebook and Insta is at Bliss Organisation. Website is blissorganisation.com. Not AU, just .com. We talked about that before. I think I'm there anyway. And for the locals, I'm like pretty much on any local page as well, like all the little local, like Gaimea, or I think I'm mums of the St. George area as well. Yeah, so you can look me up or just Google Bliss Organisation and my little face will pop up.
Beautiful. Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you so much. I'm feeling inspired. I need to relook at the wardrobe because I think I've done it, but I actually haven't. I've recently moved into a home as a single parent. Well, I mean, we have shared care, but I'm living as a single adult, and was pointed out to me that I am in a home, in a, master bedroom, if you like, where the wardrobe is supposed to be for two people, and I can't, isn't it? I still can't. So my clothes are in my master wardrobe, plus my son's room, plus my daughter's room. So.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Coat hanger trick for you, Claire, which is putting it back to front. And if it's not there in 6 months' time, if it's still there, I should say, then it's time to let go and pass it on to someone else.
I'm going to do it.
I've got you, deal.
So much.
You're so welcome.
Have a great weekend.
You too. See you. Bye.